Yes, guys, so it's almost that time again. The World Cup is returning, and very different this year. Of course, it is not what we used to. It is going to be taking place in Qatar, and it's going to be in November and December. Guys, that's right, we're going to go through every single group in the World Cup, starting off with the separate videos. Doing the first one here today, Group A breakdown today. And yeah, if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to smash the like button and leave your thoughts down below of this group. Leave your predictions of this group down below. In Group A, we've got the host nation as always, Qatar. We've taken a host in this tournament, and yeah, I've heard their stadiums are looking really nice, so I can't wait to see them. I heard there's an actual stadium in Qatar, right, which is made out of like shipping containers, so I can't wait to see how that looks. But yeah, it's Qatar. You know, people have mixed opinions on it because of the way how people built the stadiums. You know, lots of people died. You know, building the stadium, so people have the right to, you know, be against all that. But yeah, anyway, let's talk football wise then. Of course, Qatar, the host nation. Alongside him in the group, we've got the Netherlands. I'm wearing the Netherlands shirt right now from the 2014 World Cup. They did return, of course, never qualified for the 2018 World Cup, but they are back with, I guess, revenge for them. And then, of course, you've got the AFCON winners, Senegal, and then Ecuador as well. So we're gonna break every single team down, give my view on the team, their key players, and also how I think they're gonna do this World Cup. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so let's get things started. Of course, the host nation, Qatar. Yes, the host nation, as I said, guys, big pressure for them, as well as big support for them as well. The whole country's gonna be behind them, which could give them an advantage in somehow making it out this, you know, very tough group. You know, with the fans behind them being on their home turf, and you know, this is of course the biggest World Cup for Qatar, you know, in their history, of course, you know, so it's breaking history for them. And as well as that, you know, we're gonna go through some of the players they've got, and we're gonna go through how they've been performing, you know, recently in a few competitions. And yeah, so starting off with the Arab Cup, which they did host as well. They finished third place in that. So that was on that too. I think it was Morocco who actually won that. And then obviously they did make in the CONCACAF Gold Cup as well. They got to the semi-finals and they got knocked out by USA 1-0 back in 2019. So yes, guys, listen, this team for me can cause upsets, they can cause surprises, and they may do that being the host nation. And the trend with the host nations, right, is you go back to Russia 2018. You know, Russia performed very poorly in the Euro 2016. They performed poorly in 2014. Not many people had high expectations for Russia going in as a host nation into the 2018 World Cup, because they had Uruguay in their group, they had Egypt, Saudi Arabia. Many people put Egypt above Russia, if you guys remember. And yeah, for me, Russia proved a very well run. Russia won an amazing run. Same thing can happen in this group. Qatar, you know, I'm gonna go through the other teams' schools in a minute, but Qatar, they're gonna everyone's gonna be up for it. Of course, the whole family's gonna be up for it. They're gonna be up for it, and they can cause definitely some of the upsets for me. And of course, we're gonna go through some of their key players right now. Before I do, this is what happens with Qatar, right? And you see this trend with most national teams as well, is where half the players who play for the actual Qatar, you know, Qatar national team, are not even from Qatar. They're actually from different countries around the world. And you see teams like national teams like France do this as well. You just look how many players, you know, different countries that they have. But yeah, most countries do this, and same goes with Qatar. They've got players like Montari, who's actually Ghanaian. They've got this guy called Pedro, who's from Portugal. And he's also from Cape Verde as well. You know, they've got a few Algerians in there. They've got this guy called Asman. I can't pronounce the guy's name. But he's from Sudan as well. So this is what happens with these types of national teams, and that could really help them. You know, as I said, they did decent in the Arab Cup, you know, getting third place, and they did decent as well in the CONCACAF Gold Cup 2019, and they actually lost to USA. So yeah, we're gonna go through some of their key players right now. Alright, starting off with their captain then, who is one of the, I think he's the most capped player for the Qatar national team. He's got 33 goals. He is the captain, and it is I couldn't butcher his name. It is Hassan Avalos. I can't pronounce the guy's name. I'm sorry, any Qatar fans watching. I'm sorry. Let me know how you pronounce the guy's name. But yeah, that's all I know. He is your captain, and he's scored 33 goals in his national career. He's the most capped player for Qatar as well. And yeah, it definitely one out to look. Definitely one to watch out for this World Cup. Of course, as I said, the guy from Sudan, Amos Ali, is a very, very clinical player for Qatar, and there's another one for you guys to watch out for. Yes, as mentioned as well, guys, you got Matari, who is from Ghana as well. Definitely another player to watch out for. And yeah, of course, like you got to think about this, guys. As I said, right, like not many people in the UK watch the Qatar League. You know, I don't think the majority of people, you know, even watch the Qatar national team, because it's just not something that, you know, in the UK we really do. And I think that's probably the same to say around the world. And yeah, so of course not many people are going to know these types of players. And yeah, of course I've done my research. That's how I know them. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, oh, I watch the Qatar League week in, week out, or I watch the Qatar national team play week in, week out, because I don't. You know, but it's good to research. You know, it's good to find out about these nations, you know, who are very underdogs. And Qatar are the underdogs, being the host nation. And yeah, I think they're in for a very big World Cup, and they're definitely a team to look out for. And as I said with the host nations, right, Russia proved people wrong. Qatar could do the same thing, right? Of course, in 2014 we had Brazil, but Brazil were already elite anyway, so we all know what happened with Brazil. But a few underdogs. South Africa is another one. I know they didn't make it out of the group, but when they scored that first goal, mate, the whole of Africa went ballistic. And that's what will be the same for Qatar for me, and I'm looking forward to it as well. But yes, guys, that is the breakdown of Qatar, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with them. But yeah, good luck to Qatar, host nation, and I always want to see the host nation. I want to do the host nation. I want to see them do really, really well. So yes, guys, move on to the next team. All right, moving on to the next team. Then we've got the Ecuadorians. Ecuador, of course, have been very do have some World Cup experience. I remember them in 2014. They was in Switzerland's group, Honduras's, and France's group as well. And yeah, I do remember backing them in 2014. But this whole entire Ecuadorian side has had an absolute transfer, and it's been refreshed. It's one of the youngest squads in the World Cup. It might actually be the youngest squad in the World Cup. So many exciting young players, and we're going to get on to Ecuador as well, because they have, you know, definitely a dark horse. So I definitely won, and they could easily make this way out the group. Some of the players have got. Let's go through some of them then. Starting off, many players, some people, well, many people, of course, will know. Moises Caicedo from Brighton, an absolute class player, and he, of course, does play for Ecuador. And then, of course, you've got Estupiñán as a fullback, played for Villarreal. I remember watching him against Bayern Munich, played really well. He's now at Brighton. Yeah, is he at Brighton now? Estupiñán? I think he might be at Brighton as well. I have to double check that, but I know he did get a big move to the Premier League. But yeah, and of course they've got players like that Bayern Leverkusen defender, Henakabi. You know, he's a very promising defender. Plata as well. He's been very, very good for the national team. They've got Valencia up front, who plays for Fenerbahce. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he plays for Fenerbahce. And yeah, so listen, they got a few players who play in the big leagues. They've got a guy who plays for Augsburg as well. So yeah, honestly, guys, this Ecuadorian team is very exciting, and I'm very excited to watch them, see how they do in this type of group. And who knows? I mean, maybe next World Cup they'll definitely be one of the favourites to, you know, get out of the next group, because they've got a very young, promising side. But yeah, big up Ecuador. Right now, we're going to look at the favourite for me, and for many people, the Netherlands. Of course, Holland. Of course, they have failed, as I said, to qualify for the 2018 World Cup. And it was a bit of a down period for the Netherlands back then. But they're back now, and you know, they was able to qualify for the Euros 2020. You know, easily breezed past their group in Euro 2020. Getting, you know, the full 9 points. And the last 16, though, they bottled it and they lost to Czech Republic and they got knocked out by Czech Republic. And this thing with Dutch football and, well, sorry, with the Dutch national team, Netherlands, right, is they always have that tendency to bottle it. And they always have the tendency, I just think that's that Ukraine game, right, when they played in the group stage and they were 2-0 up, cruising, go to 2-2, and then they did get a last minute Dumfries winner. But as I said, again, they almost bottled that. And then, of course, the game against Czech Republic, they got they got outplayed, didn't they? And yeah, and they got knocked out, and not many people thought that. But for this World Cup, obviously the last World Cup appearance was 2014 in Brazil, and they've done superb. They got all the way to semi-finals at that World Cup, and they got knocked out on penalties as well to Argentina. They made the finals in 2010, against Spain, and yeah, and they ended up, of course, losing Iniesta, but yeah, so they definitely do go far when they do qualify for the World Cup, guys, and this could be no different. They could be going, they can make their way, all the way, definitely deep in especially getting out of this group. And I do think, I'm going to get my predictions in a minute, but I do think they're very hot favourites because you've got to look at some of their players that they've got, and we can name loads of them. They've got some new youngsters coming through as well. But starting off, of course, we've got to talk about the main guy, Virgil van Dijk. De Ligt, that centre back pairing is unbelievable. Yeah, De Ligt and Van Dijk. Then Dumfries as well, very very good player. The midfield, they've got Frankie de Jong. You've got Van der Beek when he does play as well. You've got Klaassen, who plays for Ajax as well. You've got, of course, the attack is crazy as well. Memphis Depay, Cody Gakpo is also making his way into the scene now. And of course, you've got Danjuma as well, who actually does play for Villarreal. He's doing bits for them. Will he get a call up both in the Netherlands? We'll have to wait and see. And of course, you've got Steven Bergwijn, who's played for Tottenham as well, who again does play really well for the national team. And listen, guys, their team is very, very good. Their team's very, very solid. And as I said, guys, like Netherlands, they were superb in the Nations League campaign. And for me, definitely hot favourites in this group to go through. And yeah, I think they're definitely going to make a big statement in this World Cup. So, Senegal then, our final team we're going to talk in this group today, of course, the AFCON winners. And of course, they also did knock out Egypt to reach this stage in the World Cup qualification phase. And yeah, you look at their squad. These are also some of the favourites to win this group as well for many people, Senegal, because yeah, they got very, very, very unlucky in 2018, Russia. They lost on fair play, I think. I think it was fair play because what happened was oh wait, it might have been head to head. It was either head to head or fair play because they finished with Japan on the exact same points, the exact same amount of goals, the exact same wins and all that. But of course, there's one team who's going to make it through, and it was Japan in the end. So they got so unlucky. And yeah, for me, just go through some of the players. Of course, the main guy, Sadio Mane. We all know about him. He's currently at Bayern Munich. You can't be ripping it up in Bundesliga right now. Of course, Koulibaly, who's made it his way to the Premier League for Chelsea as well. Edouard Mendy as well. Edouard Mendy is another, of course, one of the greatest, highly rated goalkeepers, not only in the Premier League but in the whole of Africa and for Senegal, of course. So yeah, and yeah, as I said, guys, they've got Ismaila Sarr as well from Watford. They've got just a Gay as well, who's actually gone to Everton now. He did formerly play for PSG. So yeah, listen, their team is mad. And again, as I said, last World Cup was unlucky. They're going to bounce back for this, and they are definitely hot favourites. Many people, not in my eyes, because I already know I'm going to get my predictions in a minute. But for me, they are definitely favourites for many people to make their way through to the knockout stages. But that's the whole breakdown. That's the whole breakdown, guys. And we're going to move on to my final predictions for Group A. Alright, starting from fourth place then. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with Ecuador. Now, this group is going to be tighter than people think as well, I think. But for me, Ecuador, no disrespect to Ecuador, and I'm sorry, Ecuadorian fans, but I just think there's better quality in the group. There's better teams who will play better than and will beat you guys. And although you got a very good squad, and they don't get me wrong, Ecuador can go through, as I said, like they have the possibility to go through, but I don't think they will with the other teams, of course, in this group. And yeah, Ecuador fourth for me. Third place, I'm going to go with the host nation, Qatar. I think they can put up a very, very good fight. Not going to be enough though, because second place will come with Senegal and first will come with Netherlands, guys. So that's my Group A breakdown. Let me know your predictions down below, and I'll see you guys for Group B very, very soon.